Good morning or good evening if you're watching this as a video, or good afternoon. Welcome to Tarot Time and happy Mother's Day, everybody. So if you're a mom or you have a mom or if you have a mom in spirit, happy Mother's Day, everybody. And we're going to get into the tarot in just a second. I usually give a minute or two for the live people to come on if you're watching this as a video. But boy, we have a lot to talk about today. So lots to talk about. And as I usually ask on a Sunday morning, although today's Mother's Day, so it's a special Sunday morning. But the important question of the morning is, are we coffee, tea, caffeine free, or mimosas? And quite frankly, I could use a mimosa right now if it wasn't for the fact I haven't had a drink, I think, in almost 20 years. And that probably wouldn't go too well with me on a Sunday morning. But one of the things that's coming up is that Mercury is now stationed at 4 degrees Gemini. And there's been a lot of technological stuff that's been going on. And I just wanted to put this out there while people are coming in. If you couldn't get onto the Lilydale strength and numbers class last night, if you were one of the people that were affected by that technology issue, or if you were cut out of the pre-registration because for whatever reason people couldn't pre-register yesterday, and then people couldn't log on to the class. So email me. It's info@atombetweentheworlds.com if you were affected by that. If you couldn't get on, and I'll direct you to Lilydale's. Either they'll have to issue a refund. They did record the class, so that's another option. But anyway, just wanted to put that out there. It's a great class, other than the fact that there's some technological issues. Now, it's stationing at Mercury's at a station of 4 degrees in Gemini. 4 is Uranus ruled, and it's Mercury's higher octave. Oh, a bird just flew right up to the window. Cool. And what was I going to say? Yeah, Uranus is sort of like the higher octave energetically of Mercury, and Uranus also can affect technology. So, it's going to be hanging around at 4 degrees for the balance of the week. It's going to start to move, I think, on Friday, backwards because it's be retrograde. So, like I said, there's a lot going on, a lot to talk about, and a couple of things. I just jotted a few notes. By the way, we're also coming up to a full moon eclipse, so that's going to happen the 15th if you're west of the East Coast, and the East Coast in Europe, it's happening on the 16th, right around midnight or a little bit later. So while the whole leaked, if that's what it is, the whole leaked story about the Roe versus Wade and abortions, as that was happening, Pfizer finally released a 25,000 page report uh, on things around their vaccination for the virus and everything. So that was held up for quite a while, but they did release it. And of course, it happened when there was this story about the abortion coming in. So it got a little bit buried, but that did get released, by the way. And not a lot of people don't know about that. So that's one thing that's going on. And I don't know if it was last week's tarot time or if it's the psychic predictions I did last week. But we talked about things like whistleblowers and things like that happening. Also last week on tarot time, I do believe we mentioned that we've been in a lull, but that was about to end last week, and a lot has come out in this week, so it's ramping up again. Apparently, there's also a disinformation act that's kind of censoring what doctors are allowed to say about certain protocols of treatments or certain viruses or stuff like that. And also, another thing that's been kind of coming in sort of in the back end of the news, but if you haven't heard about this, you will soon, is that that the I don't know if it's the CDC or the WHO or where this is coming from, but the plan is to now roll out annual vaccines, just like the flu shots. But for COVID, every autumn, I guess, depending on what strain is out, kind of like the flu shot. And of course, it's going to be like the new normal. Um, so these are things that are coming in. This whole thing, I predicted 2 years ago, including what I saw. Actually, it was a story on the Weather Channel, believe it or not, where they talked about this. This is what I was predicting 2 years ago, and I'm a medium. I'm not really like a prognosticator. That's not where my psychic abilities go and precognition so much. But once things started to shift around February, March 2020, and those of you that follow me on Facebook that maybe call that I kind of laid out the whole process. When the vaccines would come out. I was only a month off when the actual time that the vaccines came up. So this was part of the prediction, and but of course, I'm not suggesting that it is all like planned in advance. I mean, just because I was able to predict things and it's happening. I mean, that would be conspiracy theories, and of course, we're not doing that here. But it's interesting, and likewise with the whole thing with this, apparently this leaked thing about Roe versus Wade, um, happening while the Pfizer report, 25,000 pages worth of reports on the testing process or whatever. There's already been whistleblowers. There's already been people stepping up and questioning the protocols and breaches of protocols and stuff like that in the testing process. So, again, we're not. I mean, it could be a coincidence, right? That the timing just seems to overlap in that way to just kind of squash other stories, or but the report's apparently available to the public somewhere. So if anybody knows anything about that, please let me know. But these are things that are happening. So like we said, things are going to start to ramp up in the news and stuff like that. So just a little bit of a heads up there. So I just want to say a few quick hellos, everybody. That about doctors. Yes, thank you, beloved. Very good. We are in the storm now, and happy Mother's Day to everybody. Warm lemon water and some drinks too. Some green tea, green tea, green tea. Okay, very good, very good. So we're definitely not going to have our full contingency of live people because people are celebrating Mother's Day. So most people are going to see this as a video. So again, and there's more. I don't want to go into like all the stories, but point being is that as we saw last week, things are starting to ramp up, and the idea here is we want to stay in the eye of the storm. The eye of the storm is our heart center. An expanded heart is the way to go. So last night, again, going back to last night, if you're having technological issues, I finished my class. I think it was 10. I don't think I got to bed till like 2 or 3 in the morning, and then I had to wake up to a couple of people that were irate by emails that they couldn't log on to the class and they wanted a refund and everything. So I just forwarded them Lily Dale's information. But again, if you were affected by that, email us, info@inbetweentheworlds.com. So basically, going back to the certain protocols of medical assistance in dealing with the pandemic. One of the things, and we'll see if this comes up, but in my yearly forecast, I talked about June being the month where this would be um, from a I'm sorry, my brain's a little bit slow today. Going from a pandemic to an endemic, and we're going to see like the rules around that, and there's going to be mandates also. That was another thing, like kids going to school or jobs or stuff like that. So things are still alive and well with the plan, as it were. So again, just a heads up with that. So let's get back into some tarot stuff. And let me have some water. So personally, I had some black tea this morning. I was like, I need to wake up and get on YouTube and get live here. So I went right for the hard stuff. I'm not. Oh no, I don't need that. What do I need? Let me find my cards. I'm pretty sure I had them a second ago. Huh. It's not gonna. Oh, here we go. So it's not going to be a good tarot time without tarot cards now, is it? So what I want to do is maybe start out pulling a meditation card and thank you, Spirit. The other thing I wanted to mention is that here on YouTube, we can't really talk about a lot because censorship is very high. What I want to do is just kind of put the website to my Patreon site up. That's our member support group. And this Monday we're going to do a live event, and we're going to talk about things like vaccine effectiveness and stuff like that. I'm not going to put out any numbers, but if anybody has the patience to go through it. I think it's 25,000 pages. I could be a little bit off on that, but if anybody has the patience to go through that, you will see that it's not quite what it was advertised to be. We'll put it that way, especially with the newer variants that have come out and everything. So happy blessed mother, everybody. Can you see? Oh yes, knows I have the Madonna here in celebration of Mother's Day. So she's right over here holding the child. Again, happy Mother's Day to all the moms and everybody that has a mom. So that's for everybody. All right, so what we want to do is pull a meditation card for the day. So I'm scattered. I'm all over the place. I admit it this morning. Bear with me, please. But getting back, yes, Monday, 7 o'clock Eastern time, we do a live video. I do that twice a month, but I do that on Spirit Mind Family on Patreon because I'm less encumbered by censorship. We can really as a community get together and talk about what's going on and join and support and help each other because we feel all the stuff that's going on, whether we're consciously aware of the news. And of course a lot of the news is not in the mainstream news. You have to dig deeper to find it. Let me take this off the screen. You guys got the website, right? I'm not going to leave this on the screen for the whole program, but in any event, Monday at 7. So we're going to talk about things like mandates and efficiency. And from my perspective, it's like any other medication. If you believe that the potential benefits outweigh the potential risks, by all means do it. If you question it, research further. I mean, I'm neither pro or against it. I'm against control, and I'm for freedom and freedom of choice or stuff like that. So my only thing is, as long as we're making our decisions responsibly for ourselves and other people, do as thou will and stay safe. That's the idea. And we stay safe by being in our heart center and being in our power, and that's how we connect with each other. We're community of the heart, we're community of the soul here, basically. So and what else happening astrologically? We do have a Mercury retrograde. I don't think Sharita stars on because she when she's able to get on, she's able to give us a lot of the of what's going on. And get it fast forward. What's going on? Yeah. Tarot. Yes, I love tarot also. So last night we did it's a great course on numerology for those that got in, and applied numerology. So it's teaching people how to use numbers and in message work and mediumship and psychic work. And of course, everything in the universe is numbered, and the tarot is numbered also. So we have in the major arcana deck, we have 22 cards. Here's one example. It's interesting that the devil card came out. That's key 16. So that's 6. And believe it or not, that's a Venus ruled card, even though the correspondence is the sign Capricorn, just due to the numerology of number 6. So there's 22 cards. And here's another one, the sun card. That's key, 19, right? Key 19 in the tarot. And I use the Hanson Roberts deck. So these 22 cards relate to 22 paths in the tree of life of the Kabbalah. So they describe the paths or the changes of consciousness, where the minor arcana cards, like the Six of Wands here, that's minor arcana. Those are the cards with the suits or the court cards. these are situations in life. So the tarot is really a book of life that describes, the 56 different qualities or possible situations, along with the 22 shifts of consciousness or archetypes or whatever you want to call it. So these, tarot was used as a meditation and a wisdom tool. It's more in modern times that it became more associated with divination, and it's still, to my knowledge, the favorite tool amongst psychics, and it's certainly my favorite tool. So when I'm doing mediumship, I'm not using tools because they're coming through directly to me. But when I'm doing psychic readings, I always, well, not always, but most of the time, I like to consult the cards also. And part of the art of being a tarot reader is being intuitive also. So understanding and having a connection with the cards, and being able to understand the meanings based on numerology, based on planetary correspondences, and also based on the pictures, depending on the deck that you're using. So it's good to have that knowledge internalized. But when you're actually working with that, it's an intuitive process. So what do you feel? What image are you drawn to in the card? Because that's the message Spirit's trying to give you, whether it's for yourself or if you're doing a reading for somebody else. So it's like when I do mediumship, I'll get symbols that mean something to me. The symbol itself wouldn't mean anything to my client. However, because those on the other side want to talk to us, our spirit guides want to guide us, our your celestial guides want to guide us, or the masters want to teach us. They're trying to make it easy for us. We just need to get out of the way and let them do their thing. So they have this capacity, because when we cross over, or that's even more so with higher level guides and spirits, they're able to read my energy field because I'm energy and their energy, and give me messages that make sense to me as a way of getting a message to somebody else. So tarot's the same way. People that do animal communication, it's the same thing. It's spiritual communication, and they'll always talk to you in your language because they want to point you in the direction of truth. Now it's up to us to listen. It's up to us to get out of the way, and to maybe get out of our programming or whatever's going on with with whatever, as long as we're able to do that, and to get into our heart. And when we expand the heart, we activate the brain also. So that's the beauty of that. We talk a lot about heart-brain coherence here, right? And it's such an amazing practice, because when you are able to really cultivate that and really feel genuine gratitude, appreciation, and love in your heart, and really hold that frequency in your heart, you start to get a head rush. Now, you guys, you can validate that if you've been doing this with us, or if you've been doing this practice. And when that happens, when you start to feel that, that's when the heart's communicating with the brain. So when you feel that, they're starting to link. Our hearts and our brains are naturally connected, but the programming severs that connection. And when the heart and the brain become incoherent, when that connection becomes severed, then we lose the connection to spirit. So when we do our heart-brain coherence and reestablish that connection, then we reestablish our connection to spirit or source, and then we can start to get more messages and start to get more intuition with things like that as well. So yes, we're all praying that the truth surfaces, Susan. Absolutely. We have Uranus is very active because it's Mercury retrograde is starting at 4 degrees. Uranus ruled numerology. This is about revolutionary change, and there's other aspects that are really pointing in that direction. A lot of government officials are coming under more heat than we even know about. Yes, one in particular is having a little bit of a difficult time, you're remembering what he's going to say in mid-sentence and stuff like that. There's another one in a different country who's, in one breath saying we support peaceful protests, and in another in the second breath is seizing bank accounts and making arrests for people peacefully protesting, basically. So it's all out there, and yeah, that's part of the awakening. But awakening is really about awakening to energy and spirit, and through that, then you start to see through the illusion. You pierce the veil, so to speak, and start to see what's really going on. And versus what they're telling us, that them being those that are in control and power of the planet, basically by controlling the flow of money, the governments, the media, and the corporations, and so forth and so on. So just follow money and the corrupt flow of power, and you'll have a pretty good idea of what's going on, basically. As David Byrne said, same as it ever was. So we can learn from history also, and kind of translate that into our more like technologically advanced society. So anyhow, it's good that I guess I didn't. Yes, I'm in upstate New York. So Galactic Love Team, thank you for joining us this morning, and beloved and everybody. It's interesting. That was another thing I wanted to. That was on my mind to talk about, was the med beds and the celestial chambers and everything. Great, great, prospects, great concepts, or whatever. Unfortunately, like everything else, once these technologies really start to become available, it's going to be, well, unless people wake up before then, it's going to be something that's available really to the rich people, not to the rest of the world, basically. And the other thing is, because the med beds are capable of healing things, possibly even regenerating organs and stuff like that. I mean, the technology exists; it's existed for a while. My thing is, learn how to do that. Learn how to do mind over matter. The idea is, it's great to have this technology. It's like it's good that we have antibiotics now, right? We take certain things for granted in today's world, that when they were being introduced, people were like, oh no, the sky's falling, no, we can't do this, it goes against nature or whatever. So it's a good thing. Technology is a good thing, but every technology is subject to glitches, and it's also subject to control. And these are the things we must be aware of as some of these advancements come out, the metaverse and all that stuff. We have to be aware that certain powers can seize these technologies and use it to further control the masses. So you want to do is learn how to heal yourself. Practice your heart brain coherence. We've done distance healings. I've done them on people in hospice that walked away 48 hours and started eating again. That's a true story. That's two. I can think of 2 examples right now in the last year that happened. And I'm just a human being that's connected to spirit or source. Anybody can learn to heal themselves or other people in a similar manner, because when we send healing to others, we're basically helping to activate their energy fields for them to heal themselves, or for God or spirit to heal them. So as a healer, I'll tell people, I don't heal anybody. God will heal you if that be God's will. It's not me. I'm just acting as the channel for this to happen, basically. But point being is that I a lot of you know my story about the autoimmune stuff, that everything from diet to essential oils to Reiki to modern medicine, couldn't do a thing with. I learned how to cultivate my mind. I did daily practice, and I've been needed steroids for over 4 years now. I'm 63 now. So that's almost 60 years that I needed them every day, basically. So, I know how powerful the mind is. I know what we're able to do. I love the fact that we can have support technology for people and stuff like that. But learn to do it yourself. The idea is, we don't want to further atrophy our abilities, and yield to technology. And a good example is, before telephones and all this stuff, indigenous people here in the US and other places knew how to communicate telepathically, and they did that. And they would telepathically, like different Native American nations, the elders would have a telepathic connection. They also knew how to use, what are they called, wind tunnels, or Like you can find places in nature where you can communicate with somebody hundreds of miles away, and they would actually hear it. So they knew how to use that. They knew how to use telepathy to communicate. Now that we don't need that, we have phones, we have computers. The idea is we don't want this technology to rob us of our power and our abilities, basically. So anyway, beloved, I think maybe I took this a step further than you intended, but she's saying the darkness was made for us to shine our light, and I love that. Thank you. That's amazing perspective, beloved. Thank you for sharing that. And Galactic is saying, I'm a healing facilitator too, Adam. I'm not surprised you are. Let's talk later. Either email me at info@atombetweentheworlds.com, and I'll explain some of the things that I did, or you can comment on YouTube when this becomes a video, and I'll share that also. Basically, it's mind over matter. The short story is that in my mind, I made the reality of comfort, because the worst part of the autoimmune thing was the eczema, like covered in intense itching, and having to use steroids every day just to live a semi-normal life. So in my mind, I made the reality of comfort and wellness more real than the physical. And I use the affirmation and sleep programs. But I'll tell you a little secret here, that one morning after a particularly bad attack, um, one morning, I just got up and I just said to myself, you know what? I'm not going to be angry about this anymore. I'm going to stop being mad. I'm going to stop cursing God. I mean, in my mind, my suicide was already planned to make it look like an accident. I mean, I was suffering big time, big time. And I did that morning. No, I'm not going to be angry about this anymore. I made up my mind. And then I went out. I did some yoga in the sun. The sun actually was one of my saviors. Of course, now I make it. Well, I'm not even going to say that. I'll put it this way: I've had a lot of sun exposure in my life, but I went out in the sun, did my yoga. I didn't itch at all. And then when I hopped back in the car, I flipped on the radio, and a song called "The First Flash of Freedom" came on the radio, which is a Tom Petty song from 2005, a great album called Mojo that a lot of people don't know about, except for Tom Petty fans. This song virtually got no airtime at all. That's how Spirit is always pointing us in the direction of truth through synchronicity. So I hop in the car, turn the radio on, Tom Petty singing "The First Flash of Freedom." I was like, yes. Yeah, and then of course later in the day I started to itch. It took 3 years for me to clear the problem. There was some protocols clearing leaky gut syndrome and that also. But the interesting thing is that didn't work the first time around. But once I started to do the mind over matter and redid the diet, then it worked. So anyway, hopefully that's interesting for you guys. I know I'm talking a lot this morning. Of course, I talk a lot every time I'm on YouTube, so I guess you love me anyway. All right. The sun heals. Yes, it does. I mean, one time when I was living in Florida, dermatologist told me I found my own remedy, not remedy, but my own relief, because salt water helps to hold the moisture in the skin. I would go to the beach and bake in the Florida sun for 5, 6, 7 hours at a time. And that would grant me at least one, if not 2 peaceful nights sleep when I did that. That's how my life was. It seems like a whole nother lifetime. Really, honestly. But yeah, the sun heals. Absolutely, yes. Like anything else, you can do too much, but don't buy into this thing where you shouldn't have any sun exposure. Every time you go, you need to, you need sunscreen. A certain amount of sun exposure is good. And right now, because the solar flares are increasing, we're getting more light code activations through the solar rays. Transported through the neutrinos and the gamma rays and all that stuff. So we want to actually spend some time in the sun and let it absorb through our skin and into our systems, because it's actually helping to activate our DNA right now. So anyway, what else are you guys saying here? People here are awesome. We try. We have our moments, yes. Thank you. Noni juice, Tahitian works for lupus. Thank you. Yes, noni juice is one of the remedies I tried for eczema. I think I tried I spent thousands. I spent thousands. Noni juice is definitely one of the ones I used. Aloe vera juice was another one. Acai water, I tried that one. All kinds of essential oils and herbs. Fasting, colonics, acupuncture, homeopathy, Reiki. List goes on. But you know what? It was my lesson. This was my growth. We're it's good to be in joy, and it's good to seize those good times in life. But we're not here to have a good time. We are, but we're not. We're here to learn. This is our classrooms. This is our choice to come into, whether you think of it as a prison, or you think of it as a matrix, or a simulation, or whatever it is. The physical world was created as part of our soul's evolution, basically. So three-legged stools, according to Dr. Hamlet. Oh, cool! Thank you for that. Thank you. Yes. You guys, I'm trying to pay attention. You guys are coming up with such amazing comments this morning, and I thank you. So back to our regularly scheduled tarot time. Here's our meditation card for the week. Nope, that's not it. All right, let me just. What I need to do is step out of my egoic, or my personal mind, and back into my spirit mind now. Okay, I'm there. This is the card. Thank you. Here we go. We're back to getting the major arcana for our meditation cards. Interesting thing, even though this is key 11, my screen is glitching. We had a lot of technology glitches last night at the class also. So this is the Justice card. It's really key 8 in my conception of the tarot. They swapped the Strength card and the Justice card. If you know Chaldean numerology, you would see that the key that 11 in Chaldean numerology is the lines, the lion muzzle with clenched fists. So it's anyway. Let me not go. I always like to teach when I'm on, but this is this is the card. So justice is interesting. So when we meditate, the idea is to get really relaxed, get really present, and then step into the card. Whether you can use your own deck, or you can use this image of the Hanson Roberts deck. So constantly step in and see what else is going on in the card. See what ask what you need balance and justice in your life with, and stuff like that as well. This could be a spirit guide. Ma'at is an Egyptian deity that works in the vibration of the justice energy, I want to say. So you can ask this figure what message that we have when you step into the card, or ask where you need more balance in your life, and stuff like that. So that's the meditation card. Let's go on to a 3-card spread now. Thank you, Judy, for that. Yeah, thank you, Galactic, for talking about. They got the colon. I don't know what the third leg would be, but certainly our colon and our gut are really powerful indicators of health, and we can either heal or diminish a lot of our conditions just by cleaning our gut and our colon. And what you eat too. It's like everything's filled with garbage. So we need to do our periodic cleansing also. Well, I mean, the human body is capable of handling a certain amount of toxicity, like we're built for that. But in this world, it's so much. And then of course there's the energetic toxicity. So again, be in the heart, meditate with the heart. Whether you do the heart-brain coherence work or an equivalent practice, it's all about gratitude. It's all about appreciation. It's the master frequency, gratitude, as explained by Teresa Bullard, Dr. Bullard. I think she put out a really amazing explanation of why gratitude's so important, and why it's the master frequency. Yeah, and also Joe Dispenza, and all the ones that I follow. But basically, we feel gratitude when we receive, so we match the frequency of the giver, which is the universe. So that's why it's everything in spirituality is simple. That's the first thing to understand. It's like, do not complicate things. It's all very simple. We're complicated. Spirit is simple. To attract your heart's desire, it's really as simple as being in gratitude and being grateful for something that you desire but may not have physically happened yet. And it's just that we're so programmed that we have to do this whole thing of counter conditioning in order for that to work for most people. Because you got to believe it. And if you've been programmed to not believe that it's that easy, it's not going to be that easy until you change that programming. Sort of the bottom line with that. But once you're there, be grateful. Don't want something. Feel like you already have it. This is basic law of attraction 101. Wayne Dyer, people like that. When we want, because all possibilities already exist. We exist in this infinite reality, whether you call it God or the quantum field or the morphic field or whatever. There's a reality that's all energy. It's all like everything's like energetic plasma, and it's our intentions that changes that energetic plasma into something tangible, basically. So all possibility exists in this field of energy and vibration that basically connects the physical with the spiritual. And if you're able to go into that and you're able to in that state of consciousness really believe that it's already happening and be grateful for it, then the vibration changes and things change on a quantum level, and everything that changed on the quantum level in time changes on the outer or macro level also. So and through the observer effect in science and quantum physics, they know this to be true, by the way. It's been proven already. Seeing certain subatomic particles will behave differently if there's an observer versus if there's not an observer, which is a testament that consciousness affects reality. Because again, if you start to change the subatomics, you start to change the atoms, that starts to change the molecules, that starts to change physical matter. So we really are that powerful. Consciousness really is that powerful. The program, the matrix, the simulation was designed that way. The universe is designed to be our teachers in this experience here. Things ain't going so well. Well, there's a collective issue and there's a personal issue, and it's not your fault. So, another step in creating your reality is don't go into guilt or blame if things aren't well. It doesn't mean that you suck if you haven't created what you want yet. It just means that you have more learning to do. As soon as you go into emotions like guilt or shame, you lower your vibration and you make it harder to manifest, basically. So you guys, some of you know about the Hawkins scale, or the emotional frequency scale, which a lot of teachers use now. All right. So anyway, it's becoming more of a chat, like most Sundays in the tarot session. But I think we're going to pull our 3 cards now. Finally, anybody want to do a drum roll? I think I need my glasses at this time. Okay, so these are the 3 cards that we got. So the first one was the 2 of Pentacles. And I'm going to put these on the clipboard also. I think did we get the 2 of Pentacles last time? So this next one is the 9 of Pentacles reverse. So that's that card. And then we got the Hierophant reverse. So these are all, basically earth-based energies. The Hierophant is the sign Taurus. Of course, numerologically, it also aligns with the powers of Mercury, being that it's a 5 vibration. Um, so it does look like a lot of us are going to have choices. I feel like one of the messages for us as a community is to you plan things, financially, as well as practically. I think we have a few weeks before we may start to really feel the next pinch of food and supply shortages. I think by June, certainly by the middle of the month, I think we all want to have a survival plan just in case. It's time is fluid, but some of the astrology and numerology coming up in the summer, as well as the projections from other channels and messages that are coming through, you know, there's potentially going to be some major food shortages and supply shortages come the summer. Now, this is the third time I mentioned this in different times, and the other two times it wasn't that bad, but it actually did happen. So something to keep in mind. We may find our money further devaluing. Pentacles can represent money as well, and we may also find some leadership issues. Hello, it's like it's already happening, but leadership issues around the country, around the world. Not everybody's an American here, but certainly the U.S., as well, as other Western countries, kind of form a hub or a trend. So when things change in this country, there tend to be a ripple effect around the world. I mean, the same would be true of China or Russia or all the other major. I even hate to use the word powers, but major players in the global marketplace, as it were. Um, it feels to me like a lot of people are going to really go into a sense of depression or sadness or stuff like that. If and when that happens, or anxiety, the idea, if you want to get past it or through it, the idea is not to resist it or not to fight it. The idea is to allow yourself to feel it and experience it, but not so much as the experiencer, but more as the observer. So we want to kind of step out and observe ourselves having these emotional reactions, whether they're just coming up seemingly out of the blue, or if it's in response to the environment or other people or stuff like that. I feel like they're saying this is really the time to really understand emotions are powerful, and our minds associate our reality and our survival with our emotions. So we all have emotional patterns stemming from childhood, and the part of our minds that it keeps us alive believes that we need to continue to experience those emotions as part of our life. So we subconsciously create situations in our life um, that will create those emotions, basically. So we need to make different choices. We need to change ourselves. And again, meditation, presence, and working with the heart are the tools to do that. Um, so that way, your past doesn't become your present, because out of those 60,000 thoughts that we have, 95% are subconscious, and they're born out of the past. And even subconscious thoughts elicit emotions. And again, that's how the body's gauge for survival. So if you start to create new emotions and it starts to sink in more, then your subconscious believes that's what it needs to survive, and starts to help you create scenarios that would support your new paradigm, so to speak. So these are things to look into. We're coming up to a very powerful full moon that's coming up at 25 degrees in Scorpio. The south node is going to be 22 degrees Scorpio, so that's only a 3 degree you're 3 degrees away. So it's a conjunction, and basically that's what a lunar eclipse is. When the full moon is near or conjunct the south node, you have a lunar eclipse, basically. Um, so this is only 3 degrees off, so it's going to be total. It's probably going to be a long track eclipse in some areas because of the close proximity with the elliptical at that time, or the lunar south node. So yeah, I think the other thing they're saying is it's okay to surrender certain things. We may have, and sometimes this Two of Pentacles is about choices or weighing different decisions. Um, and we may need to surrender one or two things. what's coming up, and I mentioned this in the psychic forecast. We did what, like 9 or 10 or I think it was 11 different things came through with that. A lot of people are ending relationships now, some long-term relationships and romances or friendships and stuff like that. Um, so a lot of that's happening in a lot of areas. I wonder why I'm getting all this glitches on my screen. It's probably just energy, but anyways, so choices in terms of like what we want to keep versus what we want to let go of. Yeah, yeah, whether that's comforts or financial or whatever it is, or people or stuff like that. I think we're kind of needing to make decisions, and we really again need to get out into nature, because that restores us back to balance. Everything going on in the world and the technology takes us out of balance from a very energetic and on an atomic level. But nature will restore that. And the other thing is, because I'm doing more and more of this, is we want to really learn how to feel energy. We want to learn how to feel again, and that's something I talk about a lot. Most people have lost the ability to feel, and of course, you think you're feeling things just fine, and until you really start to feel again. And I had this experience in one of my various awakenings or whatever. But the thing is, start with the heart. That's we always come back to the heart, and the heart is really like a portal to higher consciousness anyway. That's what the guides tell me all the time, that as we activate the heart, we start to activate our connection with our interdimensional or extraterrestrial guides and energies, as well as our spirit guides, ascended masters and stuff like that. like um like Jesus, or Christ, if you like that better, has been working with me a lot as an ascended master also lately. So I think we're getting a lot of people are opening up. A lot more people are starting to sense their guides, starting to sense spirit more and stuff like that. So the idea is make decisions that are validating for you, in terms of being powerful, being in your power, being in your truth, being in your free will and everything like that, as well as your loved ones, stuff like that. So let me see what else this may be trying to tell us. Yeah, I was talking about this last week and the week before. You have further issues with financial markets. I know there's another stock market crash, last week. Oil continues to go up, stuff like that. We have to understand that nothing happens by coincidence, and a lot happens by design. So just don't buy into the fear of that. And this is, again, this is all earth energy. This is all about our material comforts, our stability. There's another word that I can't think of right now. And it's all being threatened. The thing is, when people are in fear, and things that they're used to that bring them comfort are systematically taken away from them, they become more compliant. And then you throw out words like new normal. The way the subconscious responds to the word normal, words are very powerful. That's part of the programming, is through language, and even subtle body inflections by celebrities and newscasters. It is a programming mechanism. So, what's it? Alan Watson said you can't get wet by the word water, but still, words are very powerful. And um, so so when we hear the word normal, our subconscious mind's like, normal. We like normal because normal means predictable. It means survivable. So when things have been taken away from us, then we hear new normal. It's like, yes, give me that new normal. I don't care. Just I want normal back or whatever. So be aware of things like that are coming up, I want to say. And take care of your own security. It starts by understanding that security is an illusion anyway, because the very nature of being in a physical existence means it's going to end one day. So there is no true security in a physical life. Tomorrow, everything may change. Accept that and understand when you connect to spirit, that's your only true source of security, because that's the only thing that lasts forever. And when you're able to make that connection, you bring that sense of security into your temporary physical life also. So, I mean, I know it sounds a little bit contradictory, but it really does work that way. Yeah, and the other thing is accept your death. That's one of the what reason I do mediumship, is to teach people nobody dies. Lose the fear of dying, you lose the fear of living. So the thing is, everything's very fear-based, very shame-based. These are low vibration. They make us very compliant. We want to stand in our own power, stand in our own truth, and and as things are changing in the world, we need ways that we could survive and be okay, without all of this stuff. It would only take a major solar flare to knock out the internet, to knock out all the satellites. So there'd be no cell phones, there'd be no communication. All it would take is a solar flare, at the right proportions, directed in the right way. It happened in I forgot what year, but in the later 1800s, it happened, and the entire telegraph system, got knocked out, just because of a solar flare. A solar flare can take out the entire electrical grid on a big portion of the planet. We have to be aware, not in fear of it, but we have to be aware of these possibilities and be able to plan, prepare for the worst, hope for the best, right? So I think that's the message that we're getting. Again, there'll probably be specific news events I'm not picking up on or whatever. Really, the purpose of doing psychic predictions or tarot predictions in the first place, it's to use them as a point of reference to help you to be empowered and to help you to be prepared. But the reality is the time is fluid, and as we change our present, we change our future and our past, for that matter, because it's all connected to the present moment. So anyhow, I know I'm waving this around. I got maybe, I don't know how many hours of sleep, 3 if I'm lucky. Galactic Love Team, I I predicted a big one. I forgot when, but we had one already. It wasn't the big one. And you know, my feeling, or what I've been getting through spirit, is that we do have. Now, I wouldn't say to rely on this, or to throw caution to the wind, but we have helpers, whether they're Arcturian, because those are the spirits that communicate through me primarily, as well as Palladian. But according to the messages that I get, is they're keeping an eye on us. So chances are that we'll be okay. But again, unless it's necessary for humanity's evolution and growth, there probably won't be a solar flare of that magnitude that'll do that. But we have to be aware of the possibility. I feel like they're channeling now. I feel like they're saying we've already in the last, I'm going to say like 15 years or so, we've already prevented 4 events. Because our magnetic field is weak right now, and they're working with the magnetic field to make sure that the polar shift doesn't wipe out all of humanity and all life on Earth. That's not the way the story is supposed to end. Not this time around. It's happened in other times in history, or prehistory, as it were. I don't know if that answers your question, but that's what I'm getting about that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what else? Hold on 1 second here. Dragon energy. Yeah, are we? What year are we in? Is it the year of the dragon or the tiger? I should know this. All right, so next, next up, let me do a Native American card. Yeah, somebody saying yes. So much more in our health. Oh gosh, yeah, our emotions are everything in our health. Emotions are hormones in the body. People are addicted to their emotion because they're hormones in the body. Yeah, and the same emotions over time tear down your body, tears down your health. Absolutely, great point, Manic Mama. Thank you for that. Oh, cool, Galactic Love Team. So we have something in common. Yeah, hearing this exact thing this morning from Sue Walker, and I found you, and you answered my question. What's sacrednicity? I like that, sacrednicity. It's the year of the water tiger. Thank you, Linda. All right, I need to get out of my ego again, back into my spirit mind. Okay, here we go. This is the card they want. What's this? Stickball. Did we get this one time already? I love these cards, by the way. Last summer, I was up at Lilydale and I had readings. I forgot my cards. I went to the gift shop and I said, I'll take the Native American cards. They're a whole different ball game, but I did my readings with them that time. You know, I use the subliminal videos to help my issues. Yes. Subliminals can help too. Be careful with the source of the subliminals, though, also, if you're getting it off of YouTube. What I'm seeing in this card, because it relates to the Five of Wands in tarot, and that's often about competition and stuff like that. I mean, they're competitive, but what I'm noticing is their sticks or wands are coming together on the top. So even though there's a competitiveness, there's also a joining that's happening above them. And they're actually pipes. So there's two pipes on the side also, and their sticks are all raised and they're connecting with each other. So I think it's a message, to continue to connect with community. That's why Spirit told me. I didn't know it at the time. They just said there'd be a need for me to be on YouTube, and I've told the story before, but we'll just say I was no bueno on camera and very uncomfortable doing it, and I got the message. And at first I was like, you're crazy, I must be getting this wrong, but I knew I wasn't. So I reprogrammed my mind so I could actually be comfortable enough to do this on camera, believe it or not. So hence the power of reprogramming. In my way of thinking, we only have fears to overcome them, and then every time we overcome a fear, we ascend to a new level of energy by doing that, because we remove a restriction from our lives. So there's like competitiveness, but then the other thing is that it seems like that there's another figure that's coming in. That's what's the word I'm looking for? Well, that's menacing. I'll put it that way. That's not the word I'm looking for. Um, and they're kind of competing with each other, but there's this other figure, so they're kind of coming together and in some way resolving their differences to fight an even bigger enemy, so to speak. So, but it's pipes also. Pipes are about peace. Warriorship is about peace. It's about honoring yourself, being able to defend yourself and loved ones wherever the battlefield is. So that's part of I guess my Arcturian connection is I've been indoctrinated into the warriorship since I started martial arts. How long ago? Over 40 years ago. And the idea is, whether the battle's taken on the physical level, the psychic level, the magical level, the mental level, the spiritual level, or whatever, I've trained myself or been trained to be victorious no matter where the battle's taken. And we need to kind of have that attitude. Again, that's part of having honor. It's part of of our spirituality. Be spiritual warriors, because in this world there are different forces that are trying to work against what we're trying to work towards. And of course, there are people out there that can threaten our lives, our livelihood, or whatever. And most of the battle is on a mental and emotional level, by the way. And every time you go out and into a supermarket, chances are you're engaged in at least one psychic battle wherever you go. So the idea is, again, be in your heart, radiate love, again, warriorship is about peace. It's about honoring. It's about honoring spirits, about honoring ourselves, about honoring our brothers and sisters, honoring our community or whatever. So every time we go out, especially because it keeps getting worse and worse because people are being programmed. It's not their fault. They don't know any better. And they're very angry, very frustrated, and so forth. We can pick up on that energy. But if we go out with the intention to open our heart and uplift people and to send light out into the world rather than to be triggered by their negativity, we can change that. One person, one day at a time, we can start to change the vibration of collective consciousness. Yes. Oh, that's beautiful, Doreen. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. Um, Hi, thinking. You can see and you on YouTube. Hi, Thinkwincy. I like that. Thank you. Thank you for all of your for that. Better than subs. Oh yeah, I should probably. Speaking of subs, just say um, yeah, give this video a like if you like it, and then maybe YouTube will share it with more people. All right, so let me move on. I like to do a totem animal also for the day. Oh yeah, past lives, very good. Yep, good to do a meditation for past lives, so forth. I have a lot of past life stuff that I've been able to work through. So here we go. Oh, I love this. So you haven't gotten the dolphins before. Dolphins have a very Palladian vibe, right? Where are the Palladian channels here? Am I correct about that? I've always felt that, anyways. But dolphins have this very kind of Palladian vibe. It's about dolphins are very intelligent. They're communicators. They're very creative. I don't know if this is in the medicine cards. This is about. It's also key 40, and key 40 to very powerful juncture of the Uranus rules number 4. So that can be about positive change also. But what they say in the book by Jamie Sands and who's the other author, and David Carson, the medicine cards. About dolphin energy is I thought it was mana. Okay, mana. Dolphin, breathe with me. Breathe of the divine, mana of the universe, and oneness we entwine. They have little poems here also. And these cards is very cute. And dolphin speaks to us of the breath of life. Oh, I love this already. The only thing that humans cannot go without for more than a few minutes. Obviously, we can live without water and food for days, but oxygen is the source of our sustenance. Within the breath, we encounter the rhythm of energy. Oh, this is a beautiful message that all life emits. In changing the rate of rhythmic texture of our breath, we can tap into any other life form of creature. This is a very easy way to connect with divine energy coming from Great Spirit, as well as with your own personal rhythms. And of course, we talk a lot about breath work here also, and we have Doreen of the Children's School of Yoga every month doing a yoga class for us here on the channel. We thank you for that, Doreen, very much. Beautiful Palladian galactic. Yeah, we have yeah, exactly. Thank you. Very good. Oh yeah, I was just visiting dolphins in Florida. Wow. Yes. I was thinking the same. Yeah. So dolphins. Thank you, Freebird, for that too. So that's the card with dolphins. Let's move on to our angel message. I know I've been, even for me, I've been chatty this morning. All things being relative. All right, so let me again step out of personal mind into spirit mind. Not that I ever left spirit mind, but you know what I'm saying. Through my breath, right through my mana. If I slow down my breathing, then I slow down some of my physical functions, and then I have an easier time expanding my consciousness into spirit. See, the art of being a warrior or a fighter, because part of warriorship is being able to fight. Usually when we're faced with the threat, we get so into our again, the emotions of the moment, the chemistry, from the cortisol and the adrenaline or whatever, that we kind of put all of our resources into survival in the moment, but at the expense of our immune systems for one thing. So of course, that's part of the whole plan, as it were, so to speak, is the more fear, the weaker our immune systems, but also our connection to spirit. So the art of the warriors to be faced with those dangers, but not to go into fight or flight, to remain expansive with spirit. Takes a lot of discipline to do that. That's why martial arts is such a spiritual discipline, because it takes a lot to be able to do that. So this is the card for the angels. We got Athena. So this is what kind of a, oh my God, I'm frozen. I don't know if you guys are hearing me because the screen's frozen on my end. But if not, I'm still going to put this up here and write this in for you. Oh, I'm moving again. Okay. I was frozen, so oh, you were hearing me? Okay. Yeah, I was gonna write this up for you guys. So it is safe for you to be powerful. You know how to be powerful in a loving way that benefits others as well as yourself. So that's the message that really kind of piggybacks what it's talking about spiritual warriorship perfectly. I think that is that's the message that they want to give us. So I know I don't know what time it is. I know we ran late today. So in any event, but like I said, there was a lot to talk about today. Hopefully that'll help you and that'll make sense. I don't know when my next events are coming up. Probably Sunday night, the 15th. I'll do an archangel transmission for the full moon. We do that every month. Um, I'm not sure which archangel or archangels. At some time, I want to get on. Actually, I'm going to get on sometime during the week, really just to talk about the coming eclipse. And oh, we froze again. So if you're hearing me, I think you guys can still hear me. Um, Even if you can't see me or if I'm frozen. Um, Sometime, but we'll do that next week. I don't know the dates, but we'll have a couple of live streams coming up in the next couple of weeks. Okay, so this is I think this is Spirit's way of saying to end. So we're going to end now. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I love you. We'll see you at the next video.